What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. It's Thursday. The week is almost over. It is time for our countdown to Friday the 13th. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a special watch along to some horror movie, of which I'm still trying to decide. More than likely, it's going to be something on HBO Max, so you all can watch along with us. And I guess it's just Max now, but whatever. Anyway, we got a lot of people in the chat. I've been reading conversations. I almost was delayed in getting this going because I had to confirm officially a rumor I saw in here, but it's foolishness. I'll get into it in just a second. But let's say what's up to everybody first. Two-handed axes on top of things. George Clinton reference. You got it. Afton Child is here. What's going on? Snake Eyes is in the building. What's up? Badger Wolf Prime. Hey, finally made it to a live one. Welcome aboard. Hope you have a good time, and this won't be the last one that you're here for. 80s kid from the 90s. When we last met, I was nothing but the learner. Now I am the master. Happy birthday again to 80s kid. Celebrated his birthday this week. So, and congratulations for hitting 200 subscribers. Good birthday present for you, my friend. Blake Tarpley finishes off the line. Only a master of evil, 80s. Hey, James Green's in the building. What's up, everyone? I got some great pickups for the week, and my buzzer is on the way. Awesome. And James dropped the news to me. Blake, I got the new X-Men 97 for $8.49 at Target. They were putting him on the pegs and Wolverine. And James just sent me a picture and said I was wild and crazy. I forgot before I keep going any further with this episode, we got to dedicate this one to one of my favorite comic book writers, somebody whose exploits I enjoyed so often. I don't even know if I need to go into the name. Maybe this iconic figure image will help you figure out who I'm talking about. Bam! One punch. Keith Giffen, what's going on? Let's give a big round of applause to all his work and hard efforts in making some fantastic comic books. Legion of Superheroes, of course, the Justice League International. As you can see, I can't believe I actually pointed properly and didn't go to the left hand. But yeah, I've got my Justice League International. It's one of my favorite books, period, ever. And he was responsible, along with J.M. DeMatteis and Kevin Maguire, for making so many great memories for me and showing that comic books can actually be fun with people who have personalities that aren't the same cookie cutter. So really appreciate his work. And of course, this was one of the best parts of having the DC Classics line, being able to reproduce that One Punch iconic moment so many times. So if you never read it, please check it out. Justice League International, JLA, whatever you want to call it, but it was a fantastic read. They've got omnibuses, so you can check them all out. So please do if you have not. Now, back to the rest of my greetings to everyone else here in the chat. And there's a lot of people here, so let me make sure I get to everybody, just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh, yeah, so, and then we had the rumor, I guess it's not even a rumor, it's real. It is for true. 80s Kid says somehow Toys R Us have returned. I am slightly skeptical after these Macy's Toys R Us returns where it's kind of, they got the logo. They've got a Jeffrey, the giraffe version, not your Figure Files host. They've got him hanging out there in the stores. They've got some figures on the shelves on two little rows, but it's not quite Toys R Us. So they're going to have these standalone Toys R Us's, I guess maybe standalone isn't quite the right word. They're going to be more pop-ups, and then they're going to have some at airport kiosks, and I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe it's going to be like those days when Toys R Us's were fading out and starting to take the roles of your KBs. If you guys had KBs all over, that was just the East Coast thing where the KBs were gone and then Toys R Us's would pop up in the mall. So you got that mall flavored toy store still sort of, but that never really worked out. I long for the days of going to stores and going to the mall and seeing that lone, big, massive Toys R Us building in the background, in the distance, and going, oh yeah, you're my last stop for this. And geez, I miss those days so much because it's like, there's only 2 rows of Target, and going down a Walmart aisle of figures is kind of like, maybe they'll have something. Now, the last time they did have that Studio Series bronze, I shouldn't hate on them too much, but I miss that experience of just going back and forth through different aisles, knowing there were numerous figures, some on clearance, some on discounts. And then, of course, the October big sale of Toys R Us figures, where it's 5 or 2, get something free. Miss those days, but let's see what this new revival of Toys R Us is all about. Tom Finn, 2018's in the building. At least the X-Men 97 figures are selling. A full case each of Wolverine and Bishop sold through in a couple of days in my local Target. I can't remember the last time I saw that happen. I think one of the factors was they actually put those X-Men figures out in the same time period they had a coupon. So you could actually buy new figures, and not they didn't do the sale and then, oh, here's new figures for you. So you were able to get new figures. Sort of like me. So I also got the Wolverine 97. He looks really cool, and haven't quite gotten around clearly to opening him yet. And then, of course, thanks to the Target sale, I decided to grab another one. So I got Magneto, and I love the way they did his head sculpt, which you can, I guess you can kind of see. I love how they've got the darkness kind of silhouetted there going. I need to swap out these gloves, though. I don't really love that, but two really nice, there we go, looking figures. So I'm really happy with those. Let me know what you guys think so far of them. Battle Prime, how would you guys rate the 97 Wolverine, the previous Legends releases? I think he looks pretty cool. Hopefully next week I'll actually have reviewed him and put that review up on LowsMovieFiles.com so you can see the comparison. Somehow I have numerous Tiger Stripe Wolverine figures, and so I'll have them up there and place them, and we can see which one is the definitive best version of Wolverine. I know this one with the pinstripes with the pinless joints is a better version. And of course, now I've given Hasbro a new variant, pinstripes Wolverine. So we'll see if that actually hits stores, maybe Target, maybe it'll be a Walmart exclusive. All right, James said, I like the VHS Wolverine, then the 97 one is second for me. Nice, okay. James wants to know, is this Wolverine the ultimate, better than the Hulk 2-pack? It is pinless. I bet it's better. And 80 kids, you're like me. I'm so tired of Walmart and Target never having a thing. At least my Targets typically have something. Walmart's is almost a wasted trip for me, but sometimes I go and they surprise me, but it's never the case with Target. It's just kind of a, yeah, I can wait you guys out till a sale or till something hits clearance. And then 2 weeks later, it's on clearance. So that works out pretty well. So Aftonchild had me scrambling before the start of this show. Guys, want to hear something funny and stupid, but this is a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but Disney has officially broken up Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And I was just like, that seems absolutely stupid. There's no way, just absolutely no way that Disney would do that, because who cares? That's like breaking up Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. Wait a second. Yeah, I guess they did kind of do that. So I had to do some research because I was like, this is foolishness that cannot stand. Let's check and see if this is actually true. And it's sort of kind of, but not really. So the deal is, this is part of a Marvel comic books deal, and people are kind of stressing out because in these Marvel homage covers that feature the Mickey Mouse, the Disney characters, instead of Minnie Mouse, we've got Daisy Duck as Wasp to Mickey's Ant-Man, and Mickey is Cyclops, and here's Daisy Duck as Jean Grey. And that's kind of like, whoa, what's happening? Are you guys really breaking them up? You know, my whole thing with Marvel comic books has been, don't trust anything that happens. They don't matter. And I can't pinpoint the exact year I stopped caring about what was going on in the comic books, but I know it's many years ago now. And maybe they stumble into a good story every so often, but I don't trust any canon thing that Marvel or DC really do. If there happens to be a really good comic like Jeremy Adams, Green Lantern, awesome. Joshua Williamson on Superman, you know, Tom Taylor on Nightwing and Titans, that's great. All Mark Waid books, Batman, Superman, World's Finest Teen Titans. I'm all for it. And there are a few others I'm forgetting, but you know, strike it up to my memory on the spot. But those are the books that I'm like, yes, those are great. Those are excellent. I always run with those and rock with those titles. But some of these other ones from Marvel and DC, I don't care about. So I guess for now we can just be comfortable in the fact that that's just a canon comic book thing. And depending on if there's much outrage over it, it probably won't last because nothing ever does in the comic book realm of DC or Marvel. And again, I forgot something else, another important part of the opening to this show. Came up with a brand new graphics. I need to show it off. But I wanted to also make sure to thank all of you super supporters who come through all the time and donating, helping out with the channel. And I hope you guys is noticing some changes, hopefully. But I just want to thank you all because your efforts really help me going on with this channel and doing all kinds of cool stuff. So thank you so much for your support as we're in spooky Halloween October season now. So let's break through the absolute rest of what's going on here in the chat. Now, Blake, yeah, I think you do want to get this Magneto. He looks pretty cool. And I think you can kind of fudge those arms, put him up in a power pose position or whatever. I think you can work around that. How about that HasLab? Am I right? Oh, Blake, I've got that on the agenda, but man, it's just not looking good. I did a video this week earlier, and it's so interesting seeing the comments, the responses, because I felt like half the people who were commenting were saying, yeah, it was really stupid. They didn't include a tier figure because they totally botched the message, the lesson they should have gotten from the Engine of Vengeance. Nobody cared about the fact that, hey, you guys are putting in figures in this thing. It was the figures that were chosen, and that just kind of dropped the ball and doomed it, along with the early bird that didn't work. But Giant Man need a little bit something extra. I mean, all those videos I was doing beforehand, I was like, here's all the extra tiers that they could include, and some would really make sense, and some are obvious. And they decided, let's just go with heads. And I feel like if they charged $250 for the HasLab, and we got a Wasp, we got a 6-inch scale size Giant Man, I think we would have been like, oh, okay, well, at least those figures are $25 each. So there you go. There's your extra $50. Giant Man is $200. And I think we would have been okay. I feel like most of us would have been, we're paying for these figures. And I'm still disappointed about it, but we'll get into that in a second. Snake Eyes, man, I'm losing hope on that Giant Man. Me too. Whew, it's not good. Yeah, Aftermath Child, Giant Man ain't doing too good at all. Blaze says, to be honest, I love the character, love all his iterations, but it's just too big. I would pay $200 for a 14-inch one. Seriously. I really wonder what happened. And they're doing their thing at New York Comic Con. They're showing off Giant Man, but it just doesn't seem to be moving the needle. And let's see here. I was talking about it. Let's see where he is right now at this point in time. So I always like to do these checks during the random points of, well, I'm getting together all my notes for the episode. And I wrote this down. At 3:15, Giant Man was at 5,696 backers. Not a terrible way to go with 11 days left. We're kind of into that realm where, okay, we're starting to get really close to single digits left in this deal. And he's still got way too many left. So let's see now at 8:18 how much progress has been made on this thing. Hey, he's finally over 5,700. He's at 5,717. So there's some progress. That's good. Just not good enough. So hopefully we'll see this thing moving along a lot faster in the next few days. I mean, we got some momentum hopefully coming up. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be teased later. Hopefully Hasbro has some announcements, even if they don't show off any figures, which sounded like was going to be the rumor, which was wild and crazy to me. They need to be getting people excited for Giant Man. Putting him in a booth with nothing else, no other announcements, seems odd. I mean, that strategy worked really well last year for the Engine of Vengeance. I'm surprised they decided to do it again this year. Anyway, let's keep everything rolling here. Breaking Tires in the building. What's going on? No, James, you know, I'm losing hope, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is not here, and Luke Skywalker's not here. They're not giving me that new hope that Giant Man's going to get fun. But I'm going to keep plugging away and say, hey, this might be our only chance to get giant-sized figures from Hasbro, because the lesson they're going to take from this is not you guys don't want figures with your tiers. oh, we should put figures back in the tiers. It's going to be, you guys don't want Giants figures anymore. You've got Galactus, you've got the Sentinel, so you don't want any more. So maybe we'll just cancel the whole HasLab for Marvel Legends anyway. We'll see what happens. Tom Finn, I can't wait for the HasLab to be over. Hope it funds, but I'm tired of hearing about it either way. Oh, man. Jamelin, Parks, what's up? I think Giant Man went down from a few days ago. I hope that's not the case. Snake Eyes, I don't know about that Giant Man. G Brew, they course corrected too far on Giant Man. Yeah. Blake, unless the Giant Man has 5,000 backers in the last 4 days, no. I think next week the numbers sadly will go down. I want people to get it if they wanted it. I think a bunch of folks wanted the scroll version. Yeah, man, I don't know. What's up, Jamelin? Badger Wolf. Hey, Jeff. Glad to finally catch you live rather than replay. Glad to have you on here with us. Nolan's in the building. What's up? Jeff, we had an entire show just waiting for you. I know, and I'm like way behind. I'm just looking at the timestamps on the comments. No problem. I'm here for as long as you guys are, so I'll just keep up and keep rolling and catching up to where everybody is. Mr. Cheeseburger's in the building. What's going on? Renegade Biker 24. Hey there, Jeff. How's it going? I'm doing great. I'm a lot better than Giant Man, but, you know, I'm plugging away. I got my G.I. Joe shirt on, so I'm talking G.I. Joe eventually here. We're going to get there. Sci-Fi George, Cobra! Yo, Joe! I wonder if we could do that all night and do the chant back and forth. Anyway. Oh, G Brew, your Ollie's got the classified Zoran and Dusty for $5. That is awesome. Absolutely. 80s kid, the DCC figures look awesome. Now, some of them really look awesome, but if I brought my fire and ice out here, I was contemplating bringing the entire Justice League International. There's some real problems midway through. Captain Marvel is great. Guy Gardner is a little bit too tall. Let me break this down with the scale. It's just like, why is he towering over Batman? They were doing some wacky stuff with scale. The Rocket Red figure they chose is just hair pulling inducing because it's like, why go with the modern version? You've done the JLI for every other character. They could have done his Apocalypse armor. They could have done his regular one with the 7 on the breastplate. Instead, they just went with some version no one wanted. So they're great, but man, they made some bad decisions along the way. Good thing that's the only company that makes mistakes with their figures, huh? Daniel, what's going on, man? I'm doing awesome. It is Thursday. Let's do the thing. Hey, Ryan, what's up? Currently in the process of painting Luke Cage's pants blue. Well, I got to know how that turns out because that is definitely one of those things I'm kind of like, you know, even the Toy Biz one had black pants. And I figured just in the interest of let's do something different from what we got from the original figure, let's paint his pants blue. And I'm curious, you're going to go with like that whole comic book shading where you keep some of that black intact and just paint the blue over it? Because I don't know. I kind of think I would do that with mine. We'll see. Omega 579, you know, bringing out the MJ up in here. Brick and Tire, Black Canary, Batman belted him, and I missed it. Seriously, that book, oh, so great. So great. Jamelin, I did see his last tweet. I'll do anything to not go to New York Comic Con. That was awesome. I mean, that is the way to make a final statement all around. And I'm so happy that his family was like, they would get it. They would appreciate this. And I really, truly did. Northern Nomad, what's up, man? The good old days for real, Snake Eyes. Ryan, I took my newborn son to Toys R Us in the months before they closed so he could have the memory of being a Toys R Us kid. Okay, he won't remember. That's what picks are for. Or you could go to Canada and, you know, just experience it one more time. Get the full sticker shock of seeing what our friends up north are paying for their figures. I still want to do that just because I'm like, whoa, you guys are paying crazy prices for them. But just being able to walk through a Toys R Us all over again, I think it'll be worth it. Renegade Biker 24 says, I would love to see Toys R Us come back to Fayetteville, Arkansas. It was not far away from my home. Man, I would, if I was going really focused, there were maybe like a good 6 or 7 that I could get to in the span of a day if I just wanted to go on a Toys R Us tour. So much fun. And it was wild how the different stores had different things. It was like, this one didn't have it, but you guys have a full case of it. So I really miss those days because most Targets in my area are pretty much the same. If one store has it, the other ones do. So, we'll see. G-Brew. I got my X-Men 97 Wolverine, Rogue, and Bishop yesterday. The claws on Logan are great. That's good. Seeing Rogue in person, she looks a lot better than the photos. And I was like, okay, this isn't half bad. I kind of feel like the Jim Lee ones that they perfected with that Target version are the superior Jim Lee X-Men version of Rogue. But I was surprised how much I thought this figure looked like a really strong one. So maybe we'll make her a variant or something. But I was surprised how much I liked the figure. CL Hound, from the news said here will be about 20 physical Toys R Us stores in major cities around the U.S. Who knows how big they will be, though? That's the real question. I just want to have that experience of walking through the aisles and not these kind of bogus Toys R Us experiences where you can walk and do like 10 steps and you're around the entire figure aisle. I mean, some Rosses and definitely not Big Lots, Ollie's has a bigger figure aisle than some of these modern sort of Toys R Us's that we've got going now. G. Bruce says, my local Walmart and the ones in the towns closest to me are all terrible for toys. Absolute trash selection. Are they like mine where they just, restock? What's that? Now, the one closest to me is a nightmare. There's one that's maybe about 45 minutes, and that's probably the best one in my area. And if there's something new, if there's a figure worth getting, they will eventually or have it before I get over there. But the rest of them are just like, why did I take this trip? I just want to frustrate myself. And Beltran, hey Jeff, the last thing Marvel Comics did that annoyed me was Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were no longer Magneto's kids. Yeah, and I think now they've retconned that, and not only are they his kids again. I think this was during we got to separate them because they can't be mutants and be in the MCU. Now they're back to being his kids, and so is Claire somehow. And my mind is just like, what are you guys doing? Does Chris Claremont mean nothing to you? And I'm sure it does not. Jamlin, those Disney covers are dumb to me. I prefer specialists with stories of the Disney characters as the superheroes. Yes, that would be fun. For whatever reason, Muppet Babies was trending today, and I just thought back to how much fun it was when they would just do the whole parodies of cool movies back in that time frame. And I just love Muppet Babies. I'm just like, oh man, that was such a fun show. And I kind of was thinking when I saw these, like, that's something that Muppet Babies would have done awesome and cool. Northern Nomad, thank you so much, my friend, for the $2 super chat. Here's to them figure files. Clink it up with you for sure. Robert's Infinite Realms. HasLab seems like clearance compared to Super 7. I'm going to talk about that real soon. Hebrew. The last thing Marvel did that irked me was assembling the most diverse X-Men team ever and having Nimrod murder them next page. It was stupid, especially since they've already announced they'll be back. I hated the whole let's kill him and resurrect them. That totally took me out of the book. It was like, there's no suspense here. I mean, it's comic books. Everybody gets killed at an event and then they come back to the next event. But that was just taking it way too far. I mean, the Fonz and Batman were both like, that's way too past the shark for us. Mr. Cheeseburger says, let Marvel Legends HasLab die. You want to kill up, you want to Nimrod Marvel Legends. That's what you want to do. And I'm still holding out just a smidge of hope that Giant Man will get done because he's really cool looking and I want him showcased right in the center of my Avengers display. I think he would look awesome. I just need a few more people to agree with me and back him too. 80s kid, you're right. Now, all we need is a little Energon and a lot of luck. More luck than you can imagine, Optimus Prime. All right. JAQ says, I think the HasLab would have been cool and funded at 300 with a 112 Wasp and Giant Man, a 118th Wasp and Giant Man, 3 tiers with a 118th tier combined. Yeah, they could have. They could have done that for real. And I think a lot of us have been like, cool, let's do it. The giant man I know couldn't punch a Sentinel in the face. Yeah, I mean he's gotta reach up a bit, Jay, but he's almost there. Renegade, yeah, I think Giant Man is gonna go down the way of the Engine of Vengeance. He's gonna be riding. Maybe he'll ride shotgun, and then Cookie Monster and the Rancor be in the back seats, hanging around. One of them holding Reva's lightsaber out the window. I mean, we got a lot of options at this point now. Mr. Cheeseburger, thank you for the 199 super chat, my friend. Marvel Legends HasLab will die in 11 days. Bye. Blake says, yeah, Hasbro needs a buzzer beater, a 3-pointer, the last second play. Call in Steph Curry because it's way further than a typical 3-point shot. We need one of those. How in the world did he make that? And why did he even shoot that? Savage Lad, what's up, man? I love that cover ship. The cover ship is amazing. And I saw your video. You made me so jealous with all those Crimson Guards you're able to find. I was trying to find like 4, and I'll call it a day with my Crimson Guard army because I have to, and it's like it's not enough. I need him to flank Tomax and Zaymot and Cobra Commander and do the whole thing. I finally let me see. Let me pull this up here for y'all because I was so happy to break down the 2 that I have. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is awesome. Let's get more of these guys. And it was just like, geez, this is so terrible. I only have 2 to my Cobra army, but let me pull them up. Bam. I mean, the Crimson Guards are great. They look awesome, but it's just 2 of them. I need to do this shot with like 4 more to really set that thing off. But what's up, Savage Lamb? You got to get Bazooka. He's great 80s kid. Keep telling you got to roll with them. I'm surprised that G.I. Joe's anti-Cobra battle cry was no, bruh. That would have been kind of funny. I would have gone with that one. Mr. Cheeseburger says you got a lower price. You got no paywall for figures. And you got a huge figure. Marvel fans, you asked for it. Now you got it. Engine Avengers gave you 5 figures and a 2-mode card. And y'all Hasbro's haters change your minds. Now I'm hearing in Vogue, free your mind and the rest will follow. Just ignore me. What's up, Matthew? How's it going? What's going on with your ollies? Excuse me. How the Target, Captain Carter, and Age of Apocalypse 2. Ton of Hasbro figures there right now. Oh, yeah, it's a lot. Mr. Cheeseburger, Toys R Us won't survive the toy collector mentality of waiting for clearance. Won't help make a profit. You know, it's funny because I would not typically buy a lot of figures on sale or clearance. Definitely clearance at Toys R Us. I was just buying them when they had them. And it wasn't really so much of a thing of like, oh no, if I don't buy them now, they're never going to get them. I just was like down for Toys R Us. And of course, the prices for figures were a lot more reasonable. I didn't feel like they were ridiculous. I wasn't getting my money's worth. But I didn't really care so much about, oh, I'll wait to get them later. I just grabbed everything. My only wait for Toys R Us figures was maybe around the end of middle of September. I was like, I'll wait and stockpile so many figures that I buy next month on my birthday, and I'll be rolling out of here big time. And that worked because Toys R Us usually kept everything in stock. So I could wait a whole month and plan to go on a little small scale shopping spree. That's why I miss Toys R Us. Oh, Robert, I got Coronation Starscream for $15 at Ollie's. Glad I did because I would have been disappointed at full price. I got him for $30 and I felt like I really made out like a bandit. And then to see him for $15, like, oh, man. Daniel says, I was lucky and got the entire Bad Batch Season 2 figures in my Walmart. Wow, Walmart actually having exclusives. I also did get the Injustice 2 Brainiac. It was really cool. Awesome. I saw the Bad Batch. I saw Commander Jesse. But I mean, $27.99 for these Star Wars figures. I'm like, that price isn't doing it for me. And Walmart really doesn't have sales. Like when Target has something for $27.99, it's like, okay, whatever. I can wait for a sale. Or, you know, if I just happen to wait long enough, it'll be on clearance. And I mean, that Cad Bane and Cobb Van set, it was $55 and is now $16. That was crazy. And I said it was crazy for $55, but you know, getting it for less than $20, that was wild too. Hey, 80s, I still have my Toys R Us card too. I doubt very seriously I'll ever part with it. Shameless says, Mr. Cheeseburger, I think if they had the availability and variety of toys that they used to have, it would work. Also, remember, it's Toys R Us, not just action figures R Us. Yeah, gosh, man, it was so much fun just walking around, like taking the time, going through the video game section, seeing what was new there. Then, like, oh, here's some cool model stuff. Here's some cool puzzles. And then here are the action figures. Here are the play sets. And it's just so much fun. What's up, Rodney? How you doing tonight? Breaking Tire, yeah, kill him and resurrect him like Ms. Marvel. She was going, man, she wouldn't even gone that long because it was like as soon as they killed her, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, she's in the background of this Iron Man's marrying Emma Frost cover. Craziness. Like how those HasLabs will do with Thelma and Louise. Engine of Vengeance with Giant Man, Ranker, and Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster driving off the cliff. Man, I really wish Palisades had gotten to do their Sesame Street line. That is the one thing. Not the one, but that's definitely one where I was like, man, they knocked out those Muppet figures. They did them so well. And I just wish I had the complimentary Sesame Street line to pair right next to those because my Muppets line, one of my favorites. All complete with all the figures that I really need. There are a few that I can go back and grab, but man, awesome line and a great collection to have basically full. So collector, what's going on? Hey, Jamelin, HasLab should call in Derek Fisher or Robert Ory. 0.4 seconds. What do you know, man? Hey, exactly. Lakers fan. Big game Rob. Oh, man. The collector says, I want that HasLab. I bought Hot Toys for years for $200. I feel it's fair. Yeah, man. If you've been used to paying Hot Toys prices for things, it's like, oh, what's $200? And I love what Sideshow's doing now where, every day there's a new on sale figure and, still with their, you pay by month and you don't have to worry about any interest or anything. You can get the figure for a cheaper price. I love that. And really making out now with some Hot Toys, not having to pay $500. I'm exaggerating, $450, but it's a lot better than it used to be. Patrick Wolf, I think this $27.99 price on Star Wars figures is the only reason I found them in Walmart. I'm with you. Snake Eyes, I love Toys R Us too. It's a collector. We need to bring Children's Palace back. My mom would make me go there. Toys R Us was right next to it in the same parking lot. She would not budge. Man, that was funny because that's how mine was set up too, where it was. So the Toys R Us was like up on this hill, like you drove up this hill, and so the Toys R Us was here, and then at the bottom, this was not like, hey, kids, walk down and go from one store to the next. It just so happened to be a little hill, but there was a whole other little small shopping center, and they had a Zales, if you guys remember that store, and they also had Children's Palace, and Children's Palace had that huge facade, so it was so cool seeing it, like, oh, you guys at Toys R Us? It was, oh man, that was great walking down those aisles, long aisles, and maybe some of that was being a little kid, so the aisles felt like they were so long to walk through. But man, going back and forth to those stores is amazing. And we'll never have anything like that again. Savage Land, don't know if I'm gonna be able to get Giant Man, but if he doesn't fun, I think it's a crying shame. Giant Man is essential to Avengers, and for $200, crying shame. Exactly. Renegade Biker 24, Jeffrey, I finally got my 3 snow servants from Entertainment Earth, but I was told by UPS that there's a service delay based on the war in Ukraine. I got them yesterday. Man, I didn't even know people were getting their snow servants already. And Entertainment Earth is great because they put out so much stuff and you can get their things on discount, clearance, and if you so happen to want to, you can use my code Lyles, LYLESMF, for any of your shopping needs at Entertainment Earth. But big fan. So let me know what you think about those 3. I have my Eel Army. I'm set on them. I got 2 Range Vipers. I really like those guys too. And yeah, but yeah, I'm waiting to build up my army of snow serpents because they're going to be very cool to add to the collection. And since I'm showing you all my pictures of figures, here's what I took so far of my 2 so far Range Vipers. I really like these guys. Thought they came out really cool too. And all that gear you can load up on them. Really nice figures. So once again, G.I. Joe is just killing it because their figures are so awesome. tons of accessories, tons of gear. The sculpting is just phenomenal. And it's a line where they can get away with reuse because they do it smartly and it makes sense. And it's like, hey, who cares? You're doing it the right way. And all these figures just turned out so well. Anyway, about to go on to the G.I. Joe conversation. Ironic Bionic. Now I'm hearing Bionic 6's theme song in my head. Hey, y'all. I always hear in New Jersey snag 2 Scarlet Vipers and Serrano for $5 each. Sergeant Slaughter for $13. That part is crazy. I mean, I thought Sergeant Slaughter was sold all the way out. So maybe for those of you who might have missed out on Dr. Mindbender, maybe he's going to start showing up at Ollie's in, a year or two. Mr. Cheeseburger says the market has changed dramatically. The games are digital. There's no more physical media. They're not going to be selling batteries in the checkout lines. Marvel fandom and movie figures are gone. So true. It's funny because I don't know if there's a lot of holdovers like me that cannot. Whenever it is that I finally buy this PlayStation 5, it's not going to be, oh man, I got to get the digital version. I got to get the version where I can put my Blu-rays, 4Ks in them, because I want that feeling of bzzz, bzzz, and being able to control everything where some short doesn't knock out my game library. I know this paranoid probably won't happen, but there's something satisfying, about that. Something satisfying about opening up a comic book and not just scrolling through the tablet. I don't know. It's just, I'm old school and I get it. I'm a dinosaur, but there's some things that I need to hold in my hand in games, comic books, the whole deal, movies, putting that Blu-ray into the tray. Got to do it, man. Even though there's no space for some of this stuff. Rick AE, what's up? I love it, but I don't collect reaction figures, O-ring figures. I only have the 25th anniversary G.I. Joes. I don't mind having it just floating somewhere, but the price is a bit steep. Jeff, what's up, Blake? I heard you mention you were watching the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes animation. I've been too. I'm at the end of season 2. It's funny because I've been like, let's slow it down. Let's enjoy this. Let's savor the moment a bit more because that show is so fantastic. Imagine a West Coast Avengers spinoff, but continuing the NYC team. Dude, that would be awesome. And I'm really hoping that X-Men 97 does amazing because I really want them to go, what other well-received cartoon shows do we have that we could bring back and people will be excited to continue the further adventures of these shows? Gotta imagine one of those Spider-Man cartoons. There's so many. Just choose one. But Earth's Mightiest Heroes absolutely deserves a season 3, a season 4, because they'd be better than season 3 and season 4 of Young Justice. Brigham Tire says, yeah, these figures can go for over 200. Giant Man's price isn't bad at all for a 24-inch figure, but we've definitely been spoiled on stretch goals. I kind of felt like that was the whole fun of these crowdfunding projects. It's not, hey, here's the base offering, and then here's some chump stuff that you probably don't care about one way or the other. I just felt like that's the whole incentive. Like, oh, right, we've got this. Now, can we get this? Can we get that? I definitely felt like that was part of the fun with the Ghost, where it was like, cool, we got the Ghost funded, record time. And then, hey, Ezra's funded. Well, if we got Ezra, we got to get the other 2. And then, hey, yeah, we got Conan. And then we got Zeb. And it was just like they blew away all the tears to the fact that they could have spaced it out and done another 3,000 backers needed to get Sabine. Maybe not another 3,000 to get Chopper, but if Chopper was hanging at the end there, like that carrot dangling, I bet he would have funded too. And I think that's just what we need for these crowdfunds. Exciting tiers that keep people invested and want to back the projects. All about the villains. Yo, what's going on? You be playing. Hey, Jeffrey, what's up? Glad I could catch another stream. Always enjoy hearing your opinion on the goings on. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There's so much going on. I got to get into more of this a little bit faster here. Ironic Bionic for sure. HasLab needs a Wasp. All those cool costumes to pick from too. That's the thing. They could have, there's no way they could exhaust all of Wasp costumes. They could make up color combinations and people would be like, yeah, I think it was in Avengers 252. I mean, because there's just so many that she had. And there's no real way outside of this Secret Wars attire where if you did a Wasp costume and put it behind the big paywall of a HasLab, that people would be upset and going, oh, I can't believe you did this version of her signature outfit in this look. That wasn't going to happen. So I really am confused why they didn't just go with the easy layup. Small scale giant man in any Wasp. Pick a costume, call it a day. But I don't know. Renegade Biker, you have a video. Snowstorm, it's cool. I have to check it out because I definitely want to know what's going on with those. Mr. Cheeseburger, if you were the head of Disney, how would you fix it? Woo. Oh man, that is like a bacon triple cheeseburger. Like I used to make that back in my high school days when I worked at McDonald's and could eat a triple bacon cheeseburger. But yeah, it's a loaded question, and I've got a few answers for you. I think Star Wars needs to be sold. Marvel should be put on hiatus, and they should sell the park in Florida or move it to Vegas. Oh my gosh, no, we got to keep the kid land of Disney in Vegas, adult Disneyland or Disney World away. So, what would I do? Man, I was reading that the TV shows didn't have showrunners. They were just like random Game of Thrones, basically, where different screenwriters and different directors were vying for control over the show, and whoever survived got to get their vision of the show done. And in most cases, their visions were terrible, and some stuck through, like Loki, and were like, oh, that was pretty good. But I mean, we've seen the diminishing returns on those shows, and it's like, geez, what were y'all doing? That's why. So I think Kevin Feige and the whole Marvel crew need to go, do people really want to see this? And if the answer is maybe not, then don't do it. I think the beauty of the original MCU through the Infinity Saga was the fact that they weren't churning out so much stuff. And churning out a lot of stuff is okay if the quality stays strong. So like Hasbro's going, hey, we got more G.I. Joes coming for you at the end of 2023. I'm like, bring it. Because the quality of those figures is so strong and so good. I don't care. I mean, I can't buy everything at once, but it's great to have the option to go, ooh, I'll get this when I get some more money. It's just like, that's how it is. It's cool. But what we've seen with the Disney Plus shows, with the movies for the most part, the quality of this stuff has not been up to par with what we were getting through the Infinity Saga, with the exception of Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2. But I think they need to streamline and focus on the big stuff. You don't have access to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four just yet. It's okay. We'll wait until you do it. I mean, there was a point in time when the MCU was just cranking out 1 or 2 movies a year. We can wait until it's a good product. I mean, I didn't need Eternals. I don't want an Echo show. Don't care about those characters. It was kind of dicey on some of these other ones that came through. I don't know if I really needed a Marvel show or movie. I would have preferred to see a Miss Marvel movie, a Photon movie, or put her on the Avengers because she's a good character, and do a sequel to Captain Marvel. I mean, she's supposed to be the biggest character in Marvel. So I don't know. They're just doing some wild stuff. With Star Wars, take all the keys and give them to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Easy fix for Star Wars. Just call it a day with those two. The parks, just leave the parks where they are, or maybe they relocate them out of Florida, at least keep in California. And Beltran says, I think they brought out Giant Man at the wrong time. This year has been all about vehicles and layers. I think timing is definitely a problem because I feel like the first half of the year was kind of, I wouldn't say soft, but it was a nice release schedule of product where it wasn't, you thought this pre-order was coming in October. Surprise, it's coming in July. But now it's like they're hitting so hard with figures coming all the time through so many different channels. And then there are exclusives you got to keep up with. And there's pre-orders. So it's just a bunch of stuff hitting at once. And then it's like, oh yeah, don't forget to back this $200 HasLab crowdfund project. And people are like, well, dude, I just spent $200 on pre-orders for stuff that's probably going to come to my house tomorrow. So it's bad when you're making your customer base go, don't want to spend my money, my Hasbro money on this. Don't want to spend my Hasbro money on this. Because most people don't have, it's a big pot. I'll just put it in both. You got to choose. And if you're choosing between, oh, I can order this figure from Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth and get it tomorrow, or put my $200 down eventually, at, October 23rd and then get my figure next year. I mean, we're action figure collectors. We all prefer that immediate gratification anyway. So I think that's what's happening. So we'll see. The collector, that his tank fire team is going to be fire. I'm glad you like it. I think they're doing some really cool variants. Not for me, but I like the fact that they're really kitting out the his tank and giving you more for it. By the way, it's October. Where's my his tank? I need my Hasbro Pulse email saying your his tank is on the way, because that's going to be awesome. So hopefully that's soon. We're running out of months for it. 80s kid, the Star Wars team must be controlled by Tarkin. Or jeez, there's some, or Grand Admiral Thrawn, one of the two. I mean, because geez, our moment of triumph. Mr. Cheeseburger, only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe, dude, for real. I mean, it is no question. I mean, I'm looking at my other lines. I was like, yeah, guys, y'all are doing some cool stuff, but you're just not G.I. Joe. James Morrow, CJ James. Hey, Jeffrey, hope you're well. I'm doing awesome. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Jay, I got 3 Snow Serpents, Snow Job, and 2 Trouble Bubbles this week from Hasbro. All my Walmart pre-orders got canceled. That's so unlike Walmart. What are the odds of that? Them canceling pre-orders? Never heard of it. Northern Nomad says, Mr. Cheeseburger and I need to take over Disney. I will happily team up with Mr. Cheeseburger. I think Mr. Cheeseburger would help keep me reined in from going wild with all my crazy ideas and talk some sense into me. And I could go, look, we could do something fun. So I think we balance each other out pretty well. John Kane just found a Sergeant Slaughter and Ollie's. Question, did your Ollies have an abundance of Sergeant Slaughters? Because a lot of these pictures I'm seeing, they're like rows and rows of Sergeant Slaughter. They're like 5 or 6 deep in the pegs. And it's like, I love my Sergeant Slaughter. I'm happy I bought them. And I was able to get them from my local comic store, Third Eye Comics, and got him for $20. So I didn't feel, oh man, this is such a ripoff. I feel like he's 33. Getting him for 20 was awesome. But yeah, getting him for 13 is even better. I grabbed the ZD Toys Game Reverse Thor recently, digging this alternate version of the Thunder God. And now I need to find out what that looks like, because it seems like it'd be cool. JJ Peters, what's up? I wouldn't mind a Giant Man, but not dropping money for HasLab with no extra fig. Call me greedy. You're not greedy. I think it's just how they conditioned us. And I was like, sorry, no figures. I mean, we did want the figures that came with Galactus. And we did want the figures that came with the Sentinel. And we did kind of want the figures that came with Engine of Vengeance, just not in those designs. Blake, when my Wi-Fi goes out, I'm always so glad to have a huge Blu-ray collection to throw in my player. Exactly. I mean, you just, I don't know. That's just me. Mr. Cheeseburger, I am so sick of people finding stuff at Ollie's. Chicago has no Ollie's. I'm sick of it. They got to take a field trip somewhere, because I mean, man, the Ollie's experience is almost kind of like going to an old school Toys R Us, because their aisles are so big and so long, and they've got really good trades. If you catch them on restock day, it's like, yes, I feel like I need to go take a field trip to Ollie's. You guys are talking me up, and I'm like, yes, let's do it. Ken Robinson, what's up, my friend? How are you tonight? Ironic body, you wound and offend me, sir. Anyone remember Thundar the Barbarian? Absolutely. Some 6-inch figures of this tin would rock. Yeah, I'm curious, who would make the best versions of the Thundar the Barbarian? Because I feel like a figure line has done it, but they really stuck to the whole cartoon aesthetics, and that was fine, but they didn't really give him a lot of articulation. I'm wondering, will Mattel do a good job? Let the Masterverse New Eternia team do Thundar the Barbarian? I think those would look really cool. Ooh-la and aura. Yeah, absolutely. All About the Villain says, Mr. Cheeseburger, go to Ollie's every weekend. Great deals. I've been posting shorts of all the deals I've been finding. Awesome. I need to check out your shorts on these. The Collector says, this is a perfect HasLab to grab with a run. Going to be so low if funded. 10,000K run would make this highly sought after eventually. I even had my 15-year-old son buying it since he understands. Brickentire says physical versus digital medium split. I'll stream any movie, and I'm usually good with that. But some movies, Conan, Batman, The Crow, I want to actually have those in hands. I got you. All About the Villains was one of the fortunate that found. I picked up Tomax and Strider. Do you mean Stalker for $4.99 each at Ross? I was looking for that $5 Stalker because mine Seems like those joints are a little bit tough, and I just don't want to have my stalker break. And then it's like, hey, you can do is you can buy a stalker now for $75. Of course, he might be another one that they do throw into the retro line to do a little bit more colorful camo. So we'll see on that one. Badger Wolf Prime says, I've been collecting a long time. I had to purge many times just to have room. For me, physical media is just for the most important things. I get that for sure. Blake says Marvel needs to get the equivalent position that James Gunn has to the Russo brothers to map out the next 4 phases. Hire the best comic book writers. That's a very low number these days. But yeah, that will work. Put Sam Witwer in charge of Lucasfilm. Hey, listen, he could be right alongside Filoni and Favreau. That dude's a massive Star Wars fan, and he talks it big time too. Brigantire, Captain Marvel 2. Photon was leader of the Avengers in the 80s. Now she's getting side. Man, you know, I finished reading that Roger Stern run of the Avengers, and he treated Captain Marvel so well. I was really happy to get her because I could actually complete a team of Avengers. I just had to kind of fake that the Wasp that I have work for that era, but it's really cool to actually have a full squad. But you're right, man. They did her so dirty. Savage Land says, I think MCU figures were fad. The comic Marvel Legends will keep the line alive. If only they would realize that they could do figures from the 70s, 80s, and 90s as well. As well as not just the 90s. There you go. Fantastic Four saga with Silver Surfer culminating to Galactus. Now, do you want him to be a puff of smoke or actual Galactus? Intro, Fantastic Four, then Mole Man, then the Surfer, then the final 2 movies, Galactus. You know what's really wild? I just finished reading the Heroes Were Born saga. I skipped the Captain America ones because, you know, not great. But I really like what Jim Lee and his crew were doing, tying in the Inhumans, Mole Man, the Skrulls to the coming of Galactus. I think that would actually be a pretty easily adaptable version for a movie universe where you can introduce characters, you throw in Black Panther, work him in there, you put Mole Man in, and you can make that work, and then still have your big mom with Galactus. You can have all his heralds in like your precursor to the big end game version with Galactus. The collector that his tank going from fall to winter is ridiculous. That's always my one thing with him. It's like, you know, you guys had your money for a long time, and now it's time to get my figure or my vehicle going. Ryan says the Wasp for the HasLab should have been the red and yellow costume she wore Circa Avengers 60 when Janet married Hank, or the crazy white costume with only, yeah, exactly. That would be really cool one too. Snake Eyes, question. When is the Dragonfly coming out? Next year, TBD. Probably this time next year, if there's any indication. Mr. Cheeseburger, just imagine replacing Marvel Legends HasLab with 2 G.I. Joe HasLabs per year. I mean, I'd buy them. I wouldn't say no. I mean, at this rate, I don't really know what other HasLabs we've got that would work and make a lot of sense for Marvel Legends. I speculated maybe they could do a Fantastic Car. I would buy that. That's something they could pull apart and make into different compartments that would sell. But I think 2 failures in a row is going to make them a bit gun shy. So no clue what they could actually do if the Giant Man doesn't work. She Brew, my Ollie's has a crazy amount of Sergeant Slaughter. All right, the collector said, I literally sneaked some DoorDashes on top of my regular salary to pay for my toys to supply my secret account to keep this stuff on the download for my wife. I'm exhausted right now. Yeah, you probably had to do a rack of DoorDashes for that. NECA should do Thundar and give them the same treatment they're giving Dungeons and Dragons. I would be down for that too. And they have enough articulation that will work. No stalkers at Ross or Ollie's last week. I'll check this weekend. Jamlin, I'm with you, Brigantire and Thundar. NECA or maybe Super7, but NECA would be better value and likely have better articulation. Yeah. Mr. Cheeseburger says Mass Visionaries and Humans Bionic 6 Captain Planet Danger Mouse Danger Inspector Gadget deserve a rebirth. Any one of them could replace Marvel Legends and be successful. Short term, but I mean, dude, I would be all on board. Bionic 6 super articulated figures. Ironic Bionic says Marvel Legends Daredevil villains wish list. Gladiator, Jester, Deathstalker, new Typhoid Mary. I really would love to see a new Typhoid Mary. Mr. Fear, Matador. Those would be really cool options as well. All right, let's get into it because I don't somehow manage to go a full hour without talking about anything on the agenda for tonight. So let's get into it now. Let's start off with this ridiculously crazy option for those of you who have the space and have the money for it. I'm really amazed with this one. I was teased, so it wasn't like a shock, but I'm just amazed how this thing is coming about. It's a Super 7 G.I. Joe, or I guess I should say Cobra Mothership. This thing is crazy. Now it's a reaction vehicle, and the price tag is pretty crazy. It's $500. There's 60 days left. There's plenty of time for it, but this is cool. And one thing that I really like that was so cool is, it's inspired by the opening sequence of the animated series, G.I. Joe Real American Hero. Check. Custom built to scale with 3.75-inch reaction figures, as well as vintage G.I. Joe O-ring figures. And to me, that's the real selling point of this. You can have this with your old school vintage collection G.I. Joe characters. That's awesome. And look at these pictures. I mean, this thing is wild. Excuse me. I think covered up, it doesn't look as impressive as it does with the top open. And you can see how it looks next to all these Cobra Vipers. And this is the Super 7 version, so they're not quite as cool. I really wish they had shown some pictures with Hasbro's Real American Hero figures just to show how well it works. But they kind of gave you a little bit of an idea. And they threw in an early bird because people like that incentive of an early bird. So this one, you buy it from now till October 22nd. If it gets funded, you get 2 parachutes to go along with your Vipers here. That's really cool. And that's something you can just have them throwing up in the air. I mean, that looks fun just to be able to do that with your figures. And yeah, I mean, but all this detail in this thing is wild. I mean, you got this back bunker section. You got some Cobra bombs here. You've got a ton of stuff. You got a little prison. So you got Hail Cobra. I just love the random propaganda. So you got your prisoner in there, and they're watching the poster of Cobra Commander because they can't do anything else. Now, I don't think this is a really great design because you've got them right here in the command center, right next door, so they can hear all of Cobra Commander's schemes and plots. You got some seats for pilots over on this section. And then you've just got all this extra space. And it's just a really cool looking vehicle. And this gives you an idea of what it would look like and how you can piece this all together. So you've got Cobra Commander. And you can imagine just how easily you get your Real American Hero version right there. You got your Cobra Vipers chilling, the pilots for this. And then in the background, they've got Trouble Bubbles just hanging loose, ready to go. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that. All about the villains. $495 base plus $100 shipping plus $75 O-ring 5-pack plus $75 reaction 5-packs equals $750 plus tax. Mr. Cheeseburger, $500 for what? But the Engine of Vengeance is too expensive. This is crazy. The collector, that overcrowded in the jail, absolutely. Just like in real life. Jay says, imagine a HasLab with a 12-inch Giant Man, a miniature Ant-Man, Wasp, Gold Iron Man, Thor, Cap, and Hulk wearing shirts. That would have been awesome. Breaking Tire, I don't collect the 3.75-inch line, but I considered backing it just like I did the Sky Striker. But $500 plus $100 in shipping, ew. McMurphy says the chairs in jail cell are giving terror drone vibes. Again, I'm with you on that one. That is absolutely what's going on. So let's take a look at some more of these pictures. So then a little shot of it in air, flying around, taking out some Joe targets, no doubt. And here's another look at the cockpit section and plenty of room to throw in some more Cobras. So I can imagine putting Destro, Baroness, the Crimson Twins, Dr. Mindbender there hanging out while Cobra Commander is barking orders. And then, I don't know, maybe they're targeting some sky strikers. There we go. Got that all out there. All about the villains. I don't collect 3.75, but I would definitely get a 5-pack O-ring. And sorry. Renegade Biker 24 says, I think that if the shipping was free, it would be worth it. Their shipping is really ridiculous, but you are able to pay for it in piecemeal, so it's not as terrible, which I think is smart. Snake Eye says that thing looks amazing. I agree. Robert, the mothership is so much smaller than the cast layer, but it's only $100 cheaper. I just can't. Ironic Biotic says Hasbro should take the old USS Flag aircraft carrier and convert it into a flying shield helicarrier. That probably work too. Afton Child says that looks good. Yeah, I think it looks good too. There's 0 chance I'm going to have this, but I think it's a really cool looking figure. So I mentioned this already. Here's your early funding goal, 4,000 by October 22nd. So if you wanted to just abandon and jump ship totally on the Marvel Legends HasLab, you could jump in and hop and grab these 2 Cobra Escape parachutes, because anytime any vehicle in G.I. Joe got shot out of the air, the parachutes came out immediately. So they're perfect for use with any figure, even a certain commander. Soft good parachutes will be fully functional. So you saw that picture with them wrapped up. You can unfold them and have a full escape from G.I. Joe. Then your tier 1 goal is 5,000 backers. At the 5,000 backer tier, you get 2 additional front attaching seated turrets. That's cool. And an extra sticker sheet will be unlocked. And that's not the greatest tier, but it's just 1,000 more. And I think people will back it. And 1,000's not a lot, but here you go. But I really love this second tier goal. And you get 2 trouble bubbles with flip up canopies, each with 1 mine and 2 missile accessories will be unlocked. Of course, you could just buy a whole lot of classified series trouble bubbles and get the same experience. In tier 3 goals, 7,000 exclusive Cobra Viper Gunner Commander reaction figure and Cobra Viper Gunner Commander O-ring figure will be unlocked. Now that's interesting that they're doing the mix here. So we've got the O-ring and we've got the Super 7 version. That's interesting that they're taking that approach with it. So really interesting way to go. But like I said, $500 is too much. But if money was not a thing like Jermaine Dupri and Jay-Z, I'd be all over this. And I would not worry about filling it with my reaction figures or with reaction figures. I would slam that thing full of Cobra Troopers. And that would be a really great display piece and really cool. I'm very interested to know how many of you all are considering this and buying it. For me, it's like, whew, I got to tap all the way out. But it really looks cool. All About the Villain says, it is great detail and tooling, but it does not include Cobra Commander. It's not the his take, is it? Oh, not stickers, yes. Sticker shock. Yes, in like every possible way. It's not cheap whatsoever. Renegade Biker 24 says, I think if it could become a remote control vehicle, it would be awesome. All we need is a transmitter, receiver, LiPo battery, and servos. That would be cool to have that flying around in your basement or taking down your G.I. Joe drones. But for those of us who need a little bit more, a little bit smaller on your expenses for G.I. Joe, Hasbro's got you covered. And with that, I mean, we're getting more figures right away. G.I. Joe Classified Series Buzzer figure is available right now, at least last time I checked when I was putting this together, at Big Bad Toy Store for the standard, I think it's 24 is regular price, but $25.99, that's your we got it early price. He's still in stock. I know the last round, I think they had Tunnel Rat earlier than everybody else, and he sold out pretty quickly. He's still in stock. I guess it's that thing where I just have one Dreadnought, but if they had Ripper, then maybe this thing would have sold pretty quickly. I think for sure if they had Hawk on sale now, I would be jumping on this and, all right, well, I got to put enough together for my pile of loot and make that happen. But that's really cool to actually see him there and ready. So definitely before December, we're going to see that whole wave. So Helix, Agent Helix, Hawk, not Torch, Ripper, and Buzzer come into the line really fast. That's very cool. So looking forward to that. I am definitely assuming you're talking about Buzzer and not the mothership for Cobra, right? Russell Lemieux said his tanks are on in Panama. Okay. But yeah, I'm really happy to see Buzzer showing up. And that means we're going to see some more maybe popping up in Target real fast too. But that's not all, because there's so much more coming from Hasbro later on this year. So we got this tease from our good friends over at Entertainment Earth, and it's about their upcoming product launches. So tomorrow we're going to get one from both Hasbro and McFarlane Toys. Not sure what that's going to be. Probably some new DC Multiverse figures coming our way. But this tease about the Hasbro ones, they got the Rooster, they got the Crow, they got the Ebb, they got the Flow. They're big in Japan. I don't know what that is. Maybe you guys have cracked the code a little bit faster than I did. I don't know what that is, but that's coming up tomorrow, noon for those of us on the East Coast, and we'll see where that goes. Then got a lot more stuff coming from Hasbro on the 25th. We scoured the galaxy for clues, so this is more Star Wars. With our blasters and our capes and our helmets, and we've got nothing. You better set up for a reminder so you can find out what these are. Got to assume these are going to be new Star Wars figures, but on the most magical special day on October 27th, what's new, what's super, what's friendly is this, and it's a two-parter. The other half is coming Monday, so set up a reminder for this one and the next one too. So clearly, Marvel Legends stuff dropping on the 27th, and it's friendly makes me think this is probably going to be something Spider-Man related. Who could it be? Who would he be paired up that would make sense for a 2-pack or a dual set? Maybe more Spider-Verse characters. So we've got more drops on October 27th. It's like they must know it's my birthday. So at 3 o'clock, we've got, is it big, is it small, or both? Maybe this is where they work in the Giant Man tie-in 4 days after the HasLab closes. I really hope that that's the case. They show some pictures next week, because that would make no sense. Is it bigger, is it small, or both? You'll need to set up a reminder to find out, unless you want to reach out with your feelings and find out what you know to be true. Or is it Star Wars again? Who knows? Then we got some more. You have to give it the times. If you don't sign up for a reminder for this new toy, you're going to be a dinosaur. Gotta assume that's Swoop, the last member of the Dino Bots that we haven't gotten in the studio series. Gotta think that's him. October 30th, we got more stuff. One is a prop replica, and then we got another Marvel clearly focused pre-order. Find out the thrilling conclusion to this marvelous mystery drop. So we'll see. And there's still some more. October 31st, Halloween. We got something big in store. We also have some small things. Come to think of it, these things are medium too. You really ought to set up a reminder to check these disguised items out as soon as we can show them. Transformers. And then, of course, October 31st, there's no way about it. There's no deciphering and cracking the code here. This is definitely G.I. Joe. Say yo to this awesome launch of secret figures from Hasbro. And then the 8th, there's another thing. Something exciting is hatching soon. It's going to get hairy if you don't set up a reminder. What is that one talking about? So, a ton more coming from Marvel, from Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe. What's left? I feel like I've scoured all the leaked lists. I don't think that we know of anything left to show for G.I. Joe that we haven't seen in prototype form. Maybe we get a pre-order up already for Quick Kick and it'll show up at the end of December. Who knows? A lot of stuff coming up here. So let's see what you guys think. Mr. Cheeseburger, 700 for that ship? No, sir. Yeah, I knew. I really wanted to make myself laugh on that one. Brigantire says, here's what I want. It's a long shot. Torch comes out next year. The PulseCon exclusive is the Cold Slither 4-pack. Yeah, I'm going to have to buy the Cold Slither pack. I mean, there's just no way around that. And especially if they gear them up. I don't have to worry about the Hasbro team cheaping out on that. You know, they're going to bring it hard. And Cold Slither, you'll be joining us soon. Yes, all about it. Mr. Cheeseburger, I'm glad that G.I. Joe's on the line to buy. Dropping lines was the best decision I ever made. Ryan Daly, remember the animated intro? Absolutely, of course. When Destro fell. I thought Flint threw Cobra Matter. Destro fell and Footloose caught him, then tossed him like a bag of laundry to Roadblock, who caught him and tossed him again. How much does Destro weigh? It's all the helmet, man. Nothing pounds. Absolutely. October 30th, new HasLab, no more HasLabs, all about the villains. I think they've tapped out. Transformers, this would have been the slot that they would have occupied now that the Marvel Legends one will be over. And they have a week to kind of get everybody to get excited about a new HasLab. Transformers is holding out. They're waiting until 2024 for theirs. Probably going to be a little bit more than their other ones, which have been around that $200 range. So we'll see what it is. I assume it's going to be something massive, something big to really get people excited. But I wonder if that's the key for Marvel to take a year off and just go, we're going to come back with something bigger, better than ever and all that good stuff. Because what you guys want isn't these HasLabs. So maybe they'll do that. Maybe like Mr. Cheeseburger says, there's a gap to be filled. Let's throw in another G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab in there. Jamelin, that Rooster Crow line is from a Tom Waits song. I'm not sure if that tells us anything, though. Thank you. I'm curious about this. All right. McMurphy says the Big in Japan got the Rooster, got the Crow, got the M, got the Flows, a line from a Tom Waits song called Big in Japan. You guys are like right on it. Yes, Love TT Lines. You're on replay duty, my friend. The Vamp. Yeah, that would be great. I guess they said they were teasing that, so that'd be awesome. We're getting real close to that time, right? McMurphy, Big in Japan. Did Hasbro get a Godzilla license? I feel like everyone's had it at this point, so maybe it's Hasbro's turn. All about the villains. Rumor, name reveal only. G.I. Joe Blood Source. Yes. And Armored Cobra Commander. So I guess does that mean we're going to see Iron Grenadier, Destro, so we can have that whole triumvirate of him, Serpentor, and Armored Cobra Commander? That'd be cool. Any idea what tomorrow's Ghostbusters announcement is about? I don't know. I got to assume they're just doing another prop replica deal because I feel like the market, the excitement for Ghostbusters figures is kind of gone. I don't know about that one. Brent Dash, what's going on? Party's still going on just for a little bit. Ironic Bonnet, Big in Japan, Shogun Warriors. Don't tease me with that one. Supposed to be a Power Rangers HasLab soon, and that would be really surprising because it feels like they are just tapping out all over with the Power Rangers for now. I thought it was an Indiana Jones HasLab announcement. It's the Temple of Doom. The Collector. Gridiron made those snowmobiles. Maybe Hasbro wants that money, and I will give Hasbro my money if I've got my Polar Battle Bear coming. That roast Rooster Crow line is from a... Thanks, Blake. Let's see Lives BK. Maybe that's why Transformers reissued Fortress Maximus. Yes. Dragonfly coming 2026. It better not. I mean, that's way too far. Got that bad boy signed up, paid for. It better be here next year. So just a few more things I want to break down and talk about here. Not them. Let's see if Giant Man's gone any further since last we looked. He's at 5,721, so he's making progress. Maybe some viewers here have moved on and decided to go ahead and back it since we've been hyping him up so much. So Mattel is continuing on with their WWE line, and you know they've had a bit of a stumbling block because so many people are going over to AEW and their contracts are expiring, like Macho Man, and they're kind of figuring out what the heck they're going to do. But they released a really cool teaser item of something that's coming up, and I'm really excited about this one. I think this is a really cool set. They're going to put this on their Mattel Creations site. It is an LWO 5-pack, and that's, I think, the biggest faction set they've ever done. Clearly, they figured we'll throw in Rey Mysterio Jr. to help sell it, but they've got the new revamped LWO, and I really think they did a nice job with these guys. And the head sculpts look good. Got Zelina with the hair going, and these guys, the sculpts, the paint details are really nice on all these figures. I love this mask on Rey, even though I've had a couple Rey Mysterio figures with masks, but really like how these turned out. I do kind of wish Rey had a different shirt to match with everybody else, and that was like a different option. But I really like the fact that they included all these guys, so it's not oh, we're missing somebody. And I really like how they turned out. Really excellent head sculpt work, and these guys deserve really good elite figures. Here's what the box is going to look like, and I really think they did a good job with these. Selena has the flag, so we've got one accessory, and everybody else basically just has some swappable hands, but it's cool. And I really like that they did this, threw them all out there for us. G. Bruce said, if they're doing a prop announcement for Ghostbusters, I'm hoping for a first film screen accurate PKE meter. I have one of my buddies who lives in this area, huge Ghostbuster guy, and he and his crew, they go up and they have these awesome Ghostbuster costumes. They've got an Ecto one that they've decked out, really great stuff. And he's always saying the stuff that Hasbro really needs to do is more accurate PKEs and the packs and the whole deal. So I know for sure of at least two people now that would buy that if they did it. The Collector, 10,001. Let's go. Let's do it. All About the Villain says the leak rumors for Power Rangers is the last two prop weapons as a HasLab this year before the hiatus. Power Axe and Power Bow. Well, that's not as exciting, but for everybody who wants those Power Ranger props, that's really cool. So there you go. I was hoping it was going to be something really massive that I could use for my Lightning Collection figures, but whatever. That'll work. Ironic Bionic, thank you so much, my friend, for the $10 super chat. Digging the live stream and all the interaction with the chat. Amazing work. Thank you. I mean, this is a real boring show if I'm just talking. So absolutely want to make sure that you guys are represented well and we're having good interaction because it's more fun to me to talk with you all here doing a thing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else that I had on my list? Oh, and we had another reveal, and I think this one's really cool. Mattel has done some great work, and I feel like it's starting to not get as appreciated as much now because they don't have as many flashy names. I know a Sting coming back over to WWE just under a license. The Legends contract would be awesome. There's so many options for him, but this I really like seeing. They did an Andre the Giant as part of the Superstars line with swappable parts. So you can do the good guy with the fro, the big puffy hair, and blue tights. And then you could also swap out the hair and then give him this black singlet. You can give him the black boots, give him the heel Bobby Heenan member family, the Heenan family version, 2-in-1. I always love those for figures. So that's really cool. Happy to see that's coming along with him. And Beltran says, did I see the King Conan figure? I did. Let me make sure it was up so I could pull up these pictures for him. Yes, great. Of course. No can count on them. King Conan looks awesome. And they did a really, really cool job with this figure. And yeah, I mean, this design is all this detail on the figure is just incredible. Just the chest armor with all the creases and cracks, all the bolt work on there. That is really exceptionally done. The scars on his biceps, the scrapes, the scratches. Then you got this head sculpt, which just, he has been through the wars and just really great work all around with this guy. And love the chainmail armor part here. You got the belt, so he's all set to defend against King Hogan doing the thing. Oh, this background shot, he's got the sword hanging out. That sword looks really impressive. The gauntlets, of course, you've got the soft goods cape. Then you've got a torch, so he can go in some tunnels. And you see here a little something lurking back there on him. Maybe I can figure it out. Great, there we go. And just, I love all the work they put into this guy. But I mean, that's what I expect now from Mezco Toys. And this just looks great. I mean, just so much great detail on this guy. Just see all that really intricate hilt. Good work there. The crown. Awesome work. Looks like he's got a throne, maybe, possibly. There's just a little Photoshop action, but that looks great. And then if you don't like the beard look, you can give him with the crown, but then you can have this little furry detail on the cape as well. Nice cloak. And then, hey, we can go old school classic Conan. He's got nothing on, no armor. He's just going into battle. Great look as well. And he's ready for action against the big mutant crocodile. By Crom, he's taking it to these guys. So it's just a really great figure, just all around. And yeah, I mean, I feel like for $100, this is not a bad bargain. And that's just always the case with these guys. I mean, they just put so much work into these figures where it's like, yeah, okay, whatever y'all want to charge, it comes with 2 different capes. I mean, you can't knock that. So many accessories. We got the bastard sword, the sheath, the battle axe. We got the shield, torch fire effects, warhammer, and then you got the different armor pieces, the chest harness, and the fortified chest armor. So when he really needs to go serious, and then you got 3 interchangeable head portraits. So the beardless version, the angry, fierce, I'm in the battle version, the calm King Conan, 8 interchangeable hands, and then the stand, of course. So just a ton of stuff, and really $100 and free shipping. Not a bad deal. Is coming in July, so we know he's going to get here sooner than our HasLab Dragonfly, but really good stuff on there. And Badger Prime. I wish that Mezco King Conan came with the throne. I feel like there's some pretty decent thrones that we could use for him that would work out all right. I wonder if this Lex Luthor is still around. There is the McFarlane Toys Lex Luthor. I thought the super version of Lex Luthor that has a throne that I think would work. McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Merciless Patina Go Label Fire figure brand. Let's go take a look here. They've been doing some wacky stuff with some of these exclusive sets there with these variants. Let's see if I can pull this up real fast. So which one? Are you talking about this one here? There we go. Exciting podcast. Me talking. All right, you talking about that one? Because that's a really interesting variant of Black Mana. I don't hate that one. Hey, 10% off. That's awesome. Okay, but yeah, I kind of dig this look for him. And the color scheme is kind of funky, but I like it. So it's a nice looking variant for him. I don't know if I need to get it, but it does look cool. Great ideas. They usually show him at the end of the Conan movie. Yeah, for sure. It's an iconic image, absolutely. Jay Wood says King Conan will look great with loose collectors Red Sonja. That is a good point. Keith, what's going on, man? Hey, all, good to catch the stream. I'm an O-ring guy, but I'm pretty sure I'm sitting out on the mothership. Too many big ticket toys lately, and I need to stick with 1 scale for G.I. Joes. Yeah, exactly. 6-inch scale for me right now. Did anyone pre-order the Prezetta Fire and Ice Dark Wolf 112 scale action figure? I did not, but that's something else I want to add to the list to check out after the show. Keith says, I wish Mezco included a normal uncrowned Conan head for those of us who missed the other releases. That's a good idea. Jamelin, Jeff, I could be wrong, but I think the LWO shirt colors reflect the country they're from. I think so, too. I think you're right on that. I just kind of, never mind. That actually works and it makes sense. I was thinking more from the sense of, hey, if I got back into customizing, I could have a whole mass amount of LWO shirts to go with Juventud, Psychosis, El Dandy, and who are you to doubt El Dandy? Henry G, what's going on, my friend? I'm doing awesome. Awesome, fun Thursday night. Winding it down, but we're having a good time. Blake, Conan can take over Jabba's palace and sit in Bib's old throne. There you go. He does look cool. Looks amazing. Oh, the Merciless Patina version. Yes, let me see if I can find that back on here. I did see that one, but I don't know if I saw him on their page here. Oh, here he goes, right there. This one does look cool too. And I think this one works so well that you could just use him for whatever character you possibly wanted. If you want him for a Spawn villain, if you wanted him to go against your Mezco King Conan, I think he works there too. Excuse me. So this is a figure that really works out well. He's pretty adaptable for whatever kind of line you're collecting. And I don't think the price is terrible. He's $29.99. And, I think that's a really good idea for a figure that could work with so many different lines you can throw out there. But yeah, I like that one. Matthew, what's going on? Happy for the people that like the mothership, but I think it's absolutely silly because nobody's less 3 3/4 Joes anymore. Now, I'm curious because I'm looking at those prices, those reaction G.I. Joe figures at $17. And then right next to them are the classified series figures where sometimes you can get a figure like Grunt for $11.99. You can get really quality figures like the Crimson Twins and Stalker for $5.99, $4.99. Never understood the price point for those reaction figures. And I think the only real draw for this is for O-ring collectors who have a massive old Real American Hero collection and would love a big display piece to sit above their Terradrome and have a night just setting that up and putting up your Cobra army in it. But yeah, I mean, but you can imagine how expensive a 7 or 6-inch scale version of the Mothership would be. It'd be you'd have a comma in that price tag for them. The collector says Monster Force Season 2 drops announcements, I guess, should be all out next week. They really want you to army build with all the head sculpts they're putting in with their figures. Those figures look cool, but they're not cheap. And yeah, you definitely have to incorporate that army building aspect into those figures. But they really do look cool. They aren't detailed at all. Are you talking about the Joes? Yeah, they're not. That's just how they roll with them. Like, I have my original Mezco Conan on a McFarlane horse battling War Duke and Red Sonja. That's a cool one. Hey, send me a picture of that, man. I'd love to see how that turned out. Chamberlain, the last two McFarlane figures I ordered from Lyle's Figure Files affiliate, Entertainment Earth, thank you, ended up being Platinum Chase versions when they showed up. And did you like that Green Lantern now that you've had some time with it? I ordered the Facetta Dark Wolf. Cool. Matthew says to take that back. People still collect 3 3/4 Joes. I meant to say, but I think the classified sculpts are way better. Yes, absolutely no contest. Walmart has some of those. See, I'm pulling them up real fast. They have some of those really cool, really nicely done small Joes. Not quite the retro, but some really cool vintage figures like Stalker and Grunt and the Cobra Trooper, and they had a bunch of stuff on sale lately. Because that's right, their Walmart Collector Con is tomorrow, so I have to be very vigilant so I can make sure that I get my pre-visit. But yeah, here's what I was talking about. And these 3.75-inch figures were great. And let's see if I can do so. There we go. So you got the Cobra Trooper for $5 now, and that's a really great price. Originally, they were $19.99. Grunt, I think, shot back up in price, so not as good a deal anymore. But this Stalker figure for $10, really nice figure. And let's see if they have any other ones. Yeah, that's it. So if you happen to stumble on this, I think they at Walmart, at Ollie's, you can get that figure for way cheaper than that. But there's some G.I. Joes coming up for sale. Right now, you can still get the Lady J classified retro version, which they can't sell for $10. So that's really good. They're actually doing a little bit of clearance work on their end. And if you held off all this time on the Black Series Vice Admiral Rampart, you can get them for an actual decent price. And this is a Black Series, not the vintage collection set, which I'm sure is still probably closer to $20. Now that's the price point that I'll probably bite and grab this guy, because I wasn't excited about grabbing it for $27.99, but for that price, I'm on it. Snake Eyes, that's amazing. I like to get him. I don't think it's a bad figure. Thanks, Bring It Tired. Don't forget, everyone, Walmart Collector Con is tomorrow. Night Force, Tunnel Rat, and Wolf Spider and Shadow Hunter are going up. So I'm really trying to figure out what my priorities are going to be, because it's like, for sure, I got to get the Shadow Tracker. I mean, that figure looks great. And I might be tempted to go ahead and grab Wolf Spider because I think the costume looks good. I don't have to worry about Night Force Tunnel Rat. I'm so good on him. But those other two, I have to grab them. After John says he looks good, I agree. Keith Feinstein, hey, I collect O-ring Joes. The classic Joe line is not lacking in giant, amazing playsets as it is. I'd rather spend $500 on a vintage Terradrome. And you might at that point. But yeah, that would be pretty good. Ryan says, done painting Luke's pants. Picture on Instagram. Let's see here. I'll pull it up real fast. Let's see if I can grab a picture. Right. It's literally the first one. There we go. So that's what Ryan did on his Instagram. Pretty cool. And the blue works great. So yeah, definitely. I may have to take your example there and do that when I finally get the occasion. I still haven't because I've got way too many figures still open up. Speaking of which, I just finally got this guy in today from Amazon, the Jada Toys Fei Long. So this is my first one of these figures. So I can't wait to break them down and check it out and see what all the excitement, all the hype is about with these Jada Toy Street Fighter figures. So looking forward to getting him. And if you have not, I think you can still grab Chun-Li and Ryu on a Big Bad Toy Store. And I just want to check to see if Entertainment Earth still has Ryu coming. So maybe a little bit later, but he was in stock over at Big Bad Toy Store. Jane Lantern, do like the Green Lantern, but didn't open them. I ended up getting another one of the regular version open. I was just taking it back when I first saw it. Right, I paid $12 for that Vice Admiral Rampart just to get the mouse droid. Right. How much did he cost me? Which figure? Nice job, Ryan. Exactly. Good solid work. Snake Eyes know what your question about the new Jada Toys is about. All About the Villain says Nerdzoic has Chun-Li available. I thought last time I checked, of course, that was a couple days ago, and we do like our figures. Yeah. Well, Chun-Li's back to So to answer your question, how much did he cost me? Fei Long, Amazon had him for $24.99. It was just, I had him in the cart all that time. Like, you come back because I'm not doing $29.99, but got him for $24.99. Pretty happy with him. So right now, you can still get Ryu over at Big Bad Toy Store for $24.99. So with the $4 flat rate shipping, he's $29 unless you throw in some other stuff. But he looks really cool. And now that I got Fei Long, might be a little bit more tempted to go ahead and grab him sooner than later. But yeah. Oh, you were asking Snake Eyes about the Fei Long. Is he the new one? Yes, he's the new Jada Toys version. And we're looking forward to him because, just didn't get him from Storm Collectibles for so long until Jada Toys was like, well, we got a Fei Long for you. And then all of a sudden Storm Collectibles was like, why did you guys say you wanted Fei Long? Here you go. So I'm sure we'll get him next year anyway, so it won't be a big rush. I'll have this Fei Long for a long time before he arrives to my Storm Collectibles collection. Anyway, well, guys, that's it for this episode. Let's see what all about. Villain said Simon Bison in the case. Yeah, I can't wait for him either. I got Chun-Li from Big Bad Toy Stores last week, even though they didn't seem to have her in stock at the moment. Yeah. And Beltran, I want to close out the year of Mega Man, Ken Street Fighter, and the Final Suit Spider-Man. That Final Suit Spider-Man does look great. Can't wait to get him too. All right, well, that's it for this show. Tomorrow night, if you're so inclined, tune in. We'll be back on Friday the 13th. It's 7:05 for a watch along. I'll put a little note here in the dashboard for those of you who want to watch along with us as we figure out what movie. It might be Happy Death Day, might be Friday the 13th, the remake version. You got some suggestions, posted in the comments after I post and upload this video. Let me know what you guys want to see. Maybe we'll put it up to consideration so long as I have it in my collection. Anyway, thank you as always for tuning in and watching. I'll be back maybe at some point tomorrow to talk about my Walmart CollectorCon experience. Until then, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Al's Figure Files has been filed.